Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nano. It is the start of a really nice weekend here at Gulfstream Park, and I know it sounds like a broken record, but a really nice afternoon here today with that fast main track, firm turf course, and of course we got the all-weather Tapeta. And if you're looking at the screen right now, you see all three of those surfaces. And we got a big shot today if you want to get the Rainbow Six in race 4.
$250,000, and to pick up what my partner was dropping down. It is gorgeous outside. There's no real humidity, low 80, so swing by and say hi. But there you see it. 250 starting in race 4, and it is growing, huh, Ronnie?
Yeah, it's 250, and who knows, you got a chance to take it down today with this 9-race card. Once again, starts in race number 4. Yeah, if we had weather like this all the time, we'd have to stand at the border and beat people away with a stick. They want to come down here all year round. But, you know, it gets a little warm here in the summer. With that said, first race is going to be on that firm turf course at a mile and the 16th, and no scratches in the first race. And Brian put together an early pick 5 ticket.
I did. The scratches had to rework things, so it went from $12 to $16. Here's a bold one. Back-to-back singles to kick off this card. And then in race 3, the top pick is number 2, Siren's Lucky Song. 2 deep in race 4, and that's the order of 2-3 in race 4. 2-3 in race 4 because Uncork the Bottle is out. And then in race 5, we go 4 deep there. Top pick, number 3, Foxy Lady, my new long shot play of the day. I'm going to get your wrath. But, you know, I lost my long shot. I got to move over it. And I don't think this one's going to be a long shot with some of the scratches. But how about with the scratch of Alizé, a price?
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Good. Okay, a price. And Jimi Hendrix, of course, Foxy Lady, great song.
Look at the work there by Bob or whoever, right? As I said, it's 2-3, not 2-4. And we look and
boom.
Wowie.
Yeah, see that? They do great work upstairs.
Golf clap
there.
to the boys. Thank you.
They always make us look good.
They should go to Vegas or something, those guys.
Yeah, they make us look good up there, you know, which is hard to do. First race, a mile and the 16th on the turf. Claimers, 3-year-olds of 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life, 12-5 down to $10,000. As I mentioned at the top, no scratches or jockey changes in race number 1. And we both found number 5, Uncle Armando, who goes to the Saffie Joseph Jr. barn today.
It appears to be a private purchase. I don't know the story here, but this horse is really good. And we're going to show a replay, too. We do have a couple replays. We lost a couple, but we still got a couple to show you. Here's one of them. There's not a lot going on here. It's just a horse that's absolutely awesome running off the screen here, looping, by the way, about 5-6 wide on the far turn. That's not an easy path to victory, but watch this horse take off in the lane here. And, you know, we're right back now at the level for Saffie. Herman Parra had this one then, and this horse just takes off, Ronnie, in deep stretch. Yeah,
and, you know, we watched the turf racing here, of course, all winter and, you know, all spring long so far. And it's tough to make those swooping moves, and you're absolutely right. So this horse, very impressive. Now we'll show you a stat on Saffie. Just to add to it, this horse that's going to be, actually isn't favored right now on the board. Saffie Joseph Jr., first after trainer switch, all levels. He's 25 for 95, 26%, 51% in the money. 170 is the return of investment. So you knew it would be a good stat. I just wanted to point that out to you. But this horse, more importantly, was very impressive last time out. I went with the number 4 in second Mac, and I'll tell you, this one you're making a usually fruitful third start back of its, you know, a current form cycle. After setting the pace, got caught late at this level and distance for Kathleen O'Connell, leading jock Miguel Vasquez, lightly raced 6-year-old. This one might be on the engine or try to be on the engine.
Yeah, and Mac has been good to both you and I. I think we both had him as long shots, me in December, you in January. And he took to the turf last time. Right. He got there. He was a little unproven. We knew he could do the Tapeta thing. Well, what about turf? And he ran very, very well last time. And I agree with you. He's probably the speed. The question is, what about Chow down inside? What about the 3, Never Stop Dreaming? How much pressure do they put on Mac?
Talking about that, that's who you have in second, and number 1, Chow, with the Edgar Perez handling that inside post.
Yeah, I'm hoping he just settles a little bit, and maybe the 3, Never Stop Dreaming, and, of course, Mac get tangled a little bit. Boy, he's got some good back turf races showing. Now, can he get get back to him for Bobby DeBona. Was kind of a so-so fifth off the claim, but, you know, second off a little bit of a layoff. Edgar Perez had a hat trick last week. He's riding under the radar, but in good form. So, you know, Chow, maybe from a flow perspective, gets a piece of this.
You got to do a little searching here, but the number 6 Exponential, who finished third versus 20 condition claimers the last time he was on the turf, returns to the grass today after 7 consecutive races going around 2 turns on the Topita. Peter Walder, he's just 7 for 14 at the meet, 50% at the meeting, and he's 17% with the Topita to turf angle. So if you cruise down, this horse has been okay in the Topita, gets back on, and I think in a good spot. I mentioned that was 20. This is 12-5.
Yeah, and as Ronnie said, I mean, he's got turf form. He's got to win right here on the Gulfstream turf course. And so, as you mentioned, Peter is just off the charts, white hot at the Royal Palm meet. So, yeah, don't sleep on this horse. Jaramillo sticks around, too.
Race number 2 is where our first of 2 pick fours is going to start this afternoon. This is going to be about 5.5 furlongs on the Topita. It's a starter optional claimer for fillies, 3-year-olds, a starter for 35 or less, or the optional tag of $35,000. And we have 6 in the field in here. We both this is one of your singles, right?
It is, yeah.
Our Shaper, who was placed first via that steward's decision at this level and distance, 2 starts back.
Yeah, I mean, this horse is drawn perfectly. I think that's what I like the best here. And there's some speed to his inside, but, you know, we get Miguel Vasquez, who's just been so hot. And I joked yesterday, he's already on his path to 2,000 wins after he picked off 1,000 last week, and he's just been in such good form. You know, he was placed first, but she ran a winning race, and now she comes out of the Fire and Spice and Bunny Not Beast race. Those 2 are really sharp over this Topita.
Yeah, so 6 horse in there, and that is, of course, the morning line favorite. Then the number 3, Hard to Capture, stretching out slightly after following her 25 maiden score with a 4th place finish. It was against this caliber competition, and those both races were contested at 5 furlongs on the all-weather from Mark Cassie, MCL Jaramillo quarterback, and we'll call it a mini stretch out today.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good effort last time because, you know, that was her first start against Winner. So to step up, and she's got to meet Bunny Not Beast, what's going on, comes right back to win. For her to run a close 4th, I mean, that's a really nice job, and there's no reason why she can't build off that.
You know, the number 5 Boss Lady Kim, you really don't know what you're going to get in here. Now in the Saffie Joseph Jr. barn, this is a daughter of Street Boss, and in for the $35,000 tag in this optional claimer. Debuts on the Topita with Lasix. You just look at this horse's past performance, was facing real tough competition on the dirt last year. Junior Alvarado, this is a Red Oak Farm homebred. You know, it's Saffie. You know, this horse could be anything. The only concern, it's in for the 35 tag.
I think that's a good point, Ron, because that is a little disconcerting. We do have Lasix here, and, you know, this horse chased some speedy races in the past. At Saffie, we showed the stat in the first race. It kind of applies here as well, 26% with horses going into his barn. And, you know, this is a big move forward, going to Saffie's barn. But, yeah, there's no doubt this daughter of Street Boss is the wild card. You want to check the tote. I'll take a peek at the double right now, and she doesn't look overly live in the double. Looks like about the 3rd choice maybe. So just check the tote board on this one.
And, of course, Junior Alvarado certainly adds to the appeal there. Race number 3 this afternoon is a 6 furlong claimer for fillies, 3-year-olds, or 4 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, $6,250. I lost my top pick in here with the number 5 Unconscious, who's named after Brian, and the number 8 Win or Seller, the number 8 horse. So a couple out of there. Go with your 2, because did you have this one on top all along?
Yeah, I mean, I lost my top 2, actually, Unconscious and Win or Seller. So I go into the 2. Siren's Lucky Song, the old double scratch. Francisco D'Angelo, Neftali Perez is going to ride here for the first time, I believe. So we'll see what we get there. But, you know, Jose had this horse, and I think the cutback from 2 turns to 1 turn, we go Topita to dirt. This horse has got good dirt form. What we get today, well, that might be a little bit of a question mark, but I like the fact this horse still kept his speed last time, and she didn't really give it up that bad, and, you know, Conundrum Cream comes right back and wins.
The number 3, Ekamai, I think it's pronounced Ekamai. I wrote it down because I would listen to Pete call it this morning. Hoping to save more for the stretch run today. That is the number 3, by the way. Set the pace, weekend against those 12-5 claimers, going 6 on the main track for Joe Orsino. Sammy Camacho Jr. handling the drop to this level today.
She's just going to try to pop this field, right? I would think it's a send mission. She just got fried last time. I mean, that was it. She dueled. My notes say she dueled with a 60-1, predictably fried. So I don't see any 60-1s in here. And honestly, Ronnie, I don't see any 45s and 4s in here either. She should be in front.
And the number 4 horse, Lady Mechanic, another one from Francisco D'Angelo with Franklin Gonzalez Jr. in the saddle.
Yeah, I mean, ran okay off the claim for Jose last time, but didn't really get the improvement you might expect because that barn is so good off the claim. So a little leery. You know, again, the double scratch for I think both of us.
Well, let's take a short break. When we come back, I'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
And they're off. Second in the two path. Round on first inside. Race. And a quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Brian, 4th race this afternoon, 6 furlong starter optional claimer. For 4-year-olds and upward, we did have a big scratch in here of the number 4, Uncorked the Bottle, who was the, I believe, 9-to-5 morning line favorite in there, but did not deter me, I want to say, to put my $43.20 ticket together. And we'll talk about this race in a couple of moments. In race number 5, I did go 3 deep in there with Dema Wonder, Domineer, and Rain. All those horses ran well and not ran well on off track, so Rain might be the hunch play in there. The 6th race today, 3 deep with Biarritz, Forest Survivor, and Uncle B. In race number 7, just 2 deep in there with September 10 and Luddington. Had a scratch of my top pick in here, No. In race number 8, 2 deep today with Exchange Day and Meteorito from Reclaimed by Jorge Delgado. I got my long shot in the last. We had a couple of scratches in there.
Mine came out.
Yeah, ball lightning for me, for Ronnie Spatz, who's 30%. We'll talk about that race in a moment, but I'm hoping I'm getting 10-1 there. I don't think I will. So getting back to a race number 4 this afternoon, once I figure out what I did with my paper here, did you have Uncorked the Bottle on top?
I did.
Yeah.
He was the single that I kind of alluded to when I said I had to rework the old early pick 5. It is what it is, but it's a big scratch.
Yeah, definitely a big scratch. The race set up perfect for him, but you did go with number 2, Old Time Revival, who's in for the $16,000 tag in his starter optional claimer.
Yeah, let's take a peek at this replay, too, because I think this horse ran really, really well under less than optimal circumstances. Okay, here he is. He's 45-1. You're expecting, okay, he's in front. What's he going to run, 7th in here or something? Here's 2 chasers, too, by the way. The 8, twice too many. The 6, the distractor. They're 5-2, and they're 4-1. They get absolutely fried by this horse. Your finishing order, okay, is 1, 4, 5. So he does all the dirty work, and he swats these 2 horses that are 4-1 and 5-2, and he gets nailed by a length in deep stretch. This was a big, big effort for a horse that was, totally ignored. 45-1 off the claim for Fernando Abreu. Did a good job here. And here he is just trying to gut this out. Does he regress? I get that this was a seismic effort. Does he come back to the pack a little bit today? It's possible. But boy, Ronnie, he deserves a lot of credit for that effort.
Getting leading rider Miguel Vasquez in the saddle. I got that one on my ticket for all the reasons you mentioned. I did go with the number 3. I scratched into the 3, Joe DiBaggio, whose game and defeat, I thought, when he stalked the pace, he finished 2nd at this level in distance last time out for Carlos David. Unites the gelding with Paco Lopez, who rode him to back-to-back victories at this level during December. So Paco certainly knows how to handle this horse. And I just think with the scratch of Uncorked the Bottle, it moves Joe DiBaggio way up.
Absolutely. He's clearly the horse to beat. now because as much as I do like Old Time Revival, he's got speed, as does High Yield Kitten, as does New York Style, and it's just going to set up perfectly for Joe DiBaggio. What a cool hard knocker he is, too, right?
I love that name. I talk about it all the time. I thought that was a great one. High Yield Kitten, as you mentioned, drops. He set the pace, finished fifth. But look at it. He was only beaten 1/4 lengths, but he's got to deal with the other speed in this race today.
Yeah, if at least he's outside, but the problem is you got New York Style to his outside. It could be quite a little sandwich there.
Well, let's go to race number 5 this afternoon. We're going on the fast main track at 6.5 furlong starter optional claimer for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, started for $6,250 less, or the optional tag of $12,500. I think it's the first time we wrote this race this year. I'm not sure. It's usually $8,000, but I'm not quite positive about that. And the race 5 is where the late pick 5 is going to kick off.
Yeah, and we'll take a look at my ticket. And this is a real rework here. 4 deep. We'll get to this race in a second. $32 is the total play. 67 in order for survival. Race 6 kept intact. That's fine. Race 7 was the rework. I ended up single in Luddington. I had no K-No on top. He was a replay. That's out the window. 4 deep in the 8th. I thought this was a problematic race. I land on Cash in a Flash, who does need to improve facing winners. The other ones are all very, very logical. I'm 98 in the finale. I lost my long shot. You're stuck around, Ronnie. You'll get some value there, but I'll go outside to Alpha Babe and Crystal Coast. The good thing about the scratches, these two get to come in a couple stalls. That'll help them quite a bit.
Yeah, so that's an interesting last race today. That is race number 9. Getting back to the 5th, as I mentioned, 6.5 for those fillies and mares on the fast main track. The number 5 is where I started it off. I'll kick it off here. Demba Wonder is getting a fast track after her 2-race win streak on the fast track ended when she pressed the pace and finished 5th in the slop. Was the 3-5 favorite that afternoon behind this familiar competition. Emissy El Jaramillo rides. As I was saying at the top when I was talking about my Rainbow Six, Domineer beat this horse last time out, but that was on the sloppy track. And Rain, just because the horse's name is Rain. Besides that, it seems these horses have some run well in a fast track, some run well in an off track.
You know, I heard Rain on Beatles radio today.
You did? There you go.
You know, there you go.
I said it was the hunch play today.
It could well be. Demba Wonder getting back to a fast main track is a big deal because obviously she didn't fire her best shot. She probably, you know, in hindsight too, probably paid the price for those 2 huge wins too. Fast wins. Now she gets back to the, you know, dry land today. I would think she's a real threat.
I like the name of the number 3, and you got it right on top, and that is Foxy Lady. Which long shot of this is yours?
Yeah, so 8-1 on the line, and we'll still get fair value here. And you look at Demba Wonder. You got outside Miss Big Spring. Rain's not letting anybody get away early. And you got Domineer out there, too. There is a lot of speed in this race. And here's Miguel Vasquez with Foxy Lady for Ronnie Spatz. You put them together, they're 21%. And here's a horse with a hint of a rating gear, and I think that's going to come into play in here.
And talking about Rain, claimed in 4 consecutive races. This hard-knocking man now in the Carlos David barn steps up to competition, defeated those 6,250 claimers going a mile. This horse fits here against this level of competition. You know how good the barn is with new claims, almost 30%, and Junior Alvarado handling the turn back today to 3/4 of a mile.
You know, she's kind of the female version of Joe DiBaggio.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a cool horse. She shows up every 3 weeks. She runs her race. There's no Pretty Rachel in here to you know, and you look at the last few times she has been in without Pretty Rachel, they're wins. So she's a big player in here. You mentioned Carlos off the claim, almost 30%.
Yeah, so interesting 5th race to kick off our late pick 5 today. Let's go to race number 6 this afternoon, and it's a 5 furlongs on the turf. It's a starter optional claimer for 4-year-olds that have started for 20 or less, so the optional tag of $32,000. Did have a scratch in here of number 5, Military Drill, and I believe Forest Survivor. Was that another single of yours?
Well, it's no, this was not a single. This is 6-7 for me, and you've got 7-6. I used them both.
Yeah, so we'll start it off with Biarritz, who goes to the Mike Maker barn after the claim debuts locally. Tracked the pace, finished 3rd against those 17 optional claimers, going 5.5 on the fairgrounds turf. 3-time winner at the distance, spotted perfectly for the South Florida debut, I think.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and Paco gets aboard. That's a positive, too. We're well drawn to the outside. We've got speed, so we're not letting anybody get too far away from us early on, which you don't want to do in these snappy 5-furlong turf races. And Biarritz is a major player. Maker 16% off the claim, so, you know, it's kind of in line with everything he does.
Well, the number 6 Forest Survivor is going back to the turf after responding in the first race after the claim by Rohan Crichton with a $32,000 starter optional claiming victory, going 5.5 on the Tapeta.
Yeah, so that's the thing on the Tapeta. So the Biarritz has got an edge on Forest Survivor in that we know he can turf Forest Survivor. We're not so sure about that yet, but I'm a little forgiving of the Claiming Crown race. That was, what, 4 back, and boy, how are you going to go against Rohan and the speed of this horse? The barn is just out of going wild right now. Redonkulous, may I?
Yeah, you may use
Thank you.
redonkulous, but I'm going to show you a cautionary stat right
Do it.
here for Rohan Crichton. When his horses go from
Oh,
Tapeta
boy.
to turf, he's 0 for 12, 43% in the money, but 0 for 12 now. He's good. You know, on the turf with his turf sprint is 22%, but horses, I don't know if that's an anomaly or whatever it is, but it's out there, 0 for 12.
Yeah, that's a big stat right there. So, tread lightly. I do like the speed, and Junior got to know this horse last time and got him to the winner's circle, too.
The number 4, Uncle B, is a 5-time local turf winner. Goes back to the grass today. Duel for the lead. Finished third against those 20 starter optional claimers. Going 5.5 on the Tapeta. A little note here. Laura Cesar is the trainer. She's got a big ROI of like 466 with the all-weather two-turf angle. So maybe that's the way to go with a horse like that who's proven, the barn has proven they know how to switch surfaces here.
Yeah, and the barn's proven they know what to do with a good turf sprinter, too. Yes, I'm free, of course, winning a couple stakes during the championship meet. So, Uncle B might fall into a trip here. He probably gets run off his feet just a little bit on the cutback on the turf at least, and maybe that puts him in a good spot.
Let's go to race number 7 this afternoon. And this one is 7 furlongs. Claim is 3-year-olds of 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life, or race since November 3rd, 35 down to 25. We both lost our top pick in here with the number 7, No K No, from Fausto Gutierrez. I bumped into number 3, September 10, who's stretching out to 7/8 of a mile. They're rallying along the inside to come within the neck of defeating those state-bred optional claimers, going 5.5 furlongs. For who? Rohan Crichton, MCL Jaramillo in the irons.
Yeah, they're 31% together, and you just see it right there. That was a really, really strong race. Now, they did go 45 flat that day, and it fell apart a little bit, so he took advantage, but they're going to go quick in here as well. And again, Rohan he gets them good, and they stay good.
The number 6, Ludington, who you haven't cutting back to this distance today.
Yeah, it's the cutback, so I worry just maybe he's going to be a little too far back, which I don't want to see. Junior will figure it out, that's for sure. He's well drawn to the outside. He's just been coming, I'm a G6 and tune in. What are those horses in here, Ronnie? 2 to 5, so he's just coming out of good races.
Yeah, trainer Gustavo Delgado claimed this horse 2 starts back. He's got Junior Alvarado handling that. Turn back to that 7/8 of a mile. When I lost No K No, I bumped up Star Shine, who you have in second. This one changing barns, going to the Jorge Delgado barn back in March, returns to the main track. Didn't show much in that race on the turf for Mike Maker.
No, so let's just draw a line through it. And you look at the dirt races for this horse, and Jorge's 31% off the claim. He gets back to these dirt races. It might be good night to the rest of this field because, I know they were predominantly at Parks for a different trainer, and you take that for what it's worth at Parks coming out. We've seen horses struggle here over the winter and even into the Royal Palm meet, but boy, those are big figure races he's got to fall back on.
Couple of other stats. He's 29% with the turf to dirt angle, 21% with the 61 to 108 layoff, and the horse is 2 for 3 at 7 furlongs, which I really like. So Star Shine, you got to use this one on your ticket.
I agree. Lionel Reyes never ridden for Jorge Delgado. That's an interesting one.
Wow, I wouldn't know that. That's great. We'll see how that plays out today. But that horse has got all the numbers you need to win in that spot. Race number 8 this afternoon, about 1 mile, 70 yards on the Tapeta allowance. These are state-bred 3-year-olds and upward. Scratch number 5, I believe in Magic, who was from the Ronnie Spatz barn. And you have the number 3, Cash in a Flash. This horse, I was torn between using this horse, but after the scratch of I Believe in Magic, I bumped this horse up a little bit.
Yeah, this is a tough race, isn't it? We've got 6 of them in here. We've got some hard knockers. You'll talk about Meteorito in a second, but Cash in a Flash comes back off the long layoff for Mark Cassie, Edwin Gonzalez, Live Oak, Homebred, and boy, he runs well. They bet him that day. He's got a world of upside. Just maybe Mark's now. He's got him going in the right direction. He was not in for a tag off the layoff. He's not in for a tag today. Those are both positive angles. He's got a world of upside. We know what the rest of this field can do. I also think he trips out here, Ronnie, because you got Meteoritos going, right? Big and Classy just dueled the entire way around. In Exchange Days on the outside, not letting anybody go. And here's Aztec with Paco. It could get heated up there.
Yeah, it could get heated. You know, and the gelded son of Uncle Mo cashing the flash, that was certainly the exception to the norm. You don't usually win when you're coming off like a 21-month layoff
that's
like
a
that.
long time.
Yeah, and ran very well, as you mentioned. The number 7 Exchange Days, hoping to find a tad more for the stretch ride. He dueled for the lead, but he finished third behind that repeat winner, Uno Tiger, at this level and distance. It's Junior Alvarado, and more importantly to me, and both, I guess, Ed Plesa Jr. is the trainer.
Yeah, absolutely. And this horse has the benefit of drawing outside the rest of the speed. You mentioned Uno Tiger. I mean, he is great on the Tapeta. He's been in just championship kind of form. Eddie Plesa Jr. has just been on a tear as well.
The number 4, Big and Classy, you have highly rated in here. I want to hear why, because I did not use this one.
Well, it's second off the layoff. It's David Fox on the Tapeta. I mean, he's been the guy since day one. He comes out of the Uno Tiger race. This horse, I mean, just basically dueled the entire way around and paid the price late. You're supposed to allowed to think he's going to be tighter today. That was a September to April layoff. Now we're second off. Maybe he settles a little bit better because that's a tough trip that he had last time, dueling the entire way.
And you mentioned Meteorito, who's a reclaim by Jorge Delgado, stepping up the competition, defeated those 2 lifetime claimers, going a mile in the 16th on the all-weather surface. Chantal Sutherland will be in the saddle. So they thought enough for this horse to jump back in and grab it again.
Yeah, and the horse that he just blasted last time, going to be epic, came right back to win. That was the race to kick off the big carryover in the Rainbow. And, boy, he put them all to sleep on the front end.
Well, that is race number 8, and then we're going to end the day as far as the handicapping show goes with the 9th race, about 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers, fillies, 3-year-olds of 4 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life, 20 down to 16. Scratch the 1 and the number 7. I know the 1, Forbidden Dream, was your long shot this afternoon. Also scratch the 7, Chutzpah, in here. I will start with my long shot in here, and that's the number 3, Ball Lightning, who's turning back to 7.5 furlongs. Now, this horse returned from the layoff and finished that late closing fourth behind that repeat winner, Starry Hope, going a mile on the grass last time out. But Ronnie Spatz, he's 30% with horses making their second start back from a 45 to 180-day layoff. Sammy Camacho Jr. handling the second start off the bench today. I was looking for a pricing here, and I thought maybe a horse like this with good connections and a barn that does well what this horse is doing today, trying to get that price at 10 to 1.
Yeah, you and I were thinking the same thing, and you landed on Ball Lightning, and I agree with everything you said. And you look at the staff for Ronnie, 30%. And he's going to get some speed to run into, too, because the 6 Asters Doro and the 8 Crystal Coast are going, and they're going hard. This horse, I was doing the same, a closer, stalker closer that maybe gets the right kind of flow. Ball Lightning, absolutely.
I mean, when you handicap in this race and you look at it first blush, it's certainly the number 9 Alpha Babe is the one to beat. And here is third on the turf against 35 condition claimers, 2 starts back.
Yeah, that's the race, right? I mean, a huge race in the body of this field. Now we get back to it, as you said. And, I mentioned this at the start. Gets a lot of help by the 2 scratches. We can draw inside a couple stalls because you don't want to be marooned out there going 7.5.
We've been talking about Rohan Crichton all afternoon here. What about the number 4, Domineering, 15 to 1 on the morning line? Stepping up the competition, stalked the pace, having a steady and tight quarters when finishing 4th, beating a length. Now, that was against 10 claimers going 7.5 furlongs on the turf, but it's Rohan Crichton. He's got Chantal Sutherland. It's a daughter of Dominus, and, here's a horse that didn't run that badly. Of course, a little tougher spot. How about throwing this horse on your ticket somewhere, 15 to 1?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. And this is a horse that's probably going to sit a nice trip, is going to get first run on those closers that we mentioned, because probably is just off the 6 and the 8. Chantel's got fire a little bit of late, too. She's up to 7 wins, and 7 wins probably in the last 5, 6, 7 race days, too. So you got a hot jockey here for a trainer that's white hot, and like you said, you're getting a price.
You're getting a price, and you're getting Rohan Crichton, so we'll see how that goes. What about Crystal Coast? This one from the Carlos David barn.
Well, Crystal Coast is outside the 6 Asters Doro, and we've got Paco, and I think those are both positives. Now, did not run at all last time, so we need to regroup, and we need to regroup in a hurry.
Well, that's how we see the 9 races, but of course we're not done. We got our lightning round this afternoon. You see it right there. And we got some news yesterday,
Yep.
and I'm sort of bummed a little bit that Rich Strike is going to bypass the Preakness Stakes.
I agree. It's unfortunate, but, Duane here he is not yet coming up the inside. He's actually going to come out a couple passes here and come right up the inside of Epicenter in Zandon to win the Kentucky Derby at 80-1. Improbable. It's unfortunate he's passing, but all indications are doing right by the horse. And listen, at the end of the day, that's all that matters in this game.
Yeah, you think the 1.5 miles will be more suited
Yep.
for, this son of Keen Ice, so we'll see how that works out. And, but we got good news, too. Then the Hall of Famer, Duane
Yep.
Lucas, said he's going to run in the Preakness.
Yeah, I think this is awesome. That Secret Oath, the filly, who was she was awesome winning the Kentucky Oaks. She was pretty much wide the entire way. She's going to get a distance of ground. Here's Luis Saez aboard our championship jockey. And, the coach is not afraid to take a shot. And, we don't know the final field. We don't know the morning line or the odds. But when I say take a shot, this horse is 4 to 5 to 1 in this race.
Oh, without a doubt. And we've had fillies win this race, of course, numerous occasions. So, with that said, that's down the road a week from Saturday. But we got a good race here on Saturday, the Raw Stakes.
Yeah, we do. And we're going to take a look at the replay of Catcher the Time, winning last time, optional claimer here as a 3-year-old. So he's facing a good group. But, boy, this horse is freakishly fast, and he just keeps on going. And he was 53 to 1. We'll call it his coming out party when he ran a big second to Big Invasion, who is probably the best 3-year-old sprinter in the country for Christoph. And then this horse has been so good of late, and he is fast. And I think it's Ray Yanez has done such a good job with him.
We, of course, our sister track Pimlico in the second jewel of the Triple Crown is by far my favorite one, and we'll see how this is. And you can go there and be behind the scenes with those sunrise tours.
Now, local celebrity like yourself, are you leading these tours?
No, I'm not on that
Okay.
tour, but you'll see me walking around, especially at sunrise on Friday and Saturday.
Probably with a Sharpie, right? signing autographs and stuff. Check this out. It's great. You can get up close and personal on the backstretch at Pimlico, which is so cool. You could see the stakes barn. Get on the website and check it out. It's a great idea.
Yeah, the stakes barn is so cool in there, and you can see the Clydesdales there. They get the stable there. It's a lot of fun, and of course, you need tickets to get in there.
Yeah, we're going to just remind you over the next 6 or 8 days. Basically any website we have here at First, and you can get on Preakness.com, obviously. Get your tickets now. They're going to go quick. You want to get the premium seats. I've done it countless times. I'd probably say 12 times at the Preakness. They put on a heck of a show.
I think I saw you in the infield there a couple of times.
Doing the run?
I thought it was you. It looked familiar. So absolutely a ball there. And, of course, we got great music. We'll let you know all the stuff that's going on here throughout the week. But we got some great racing here today. And tomorrow we got a real nice 11-race card. And so you got to stick around here. But, of course, you got to get ready to head out to the Preakness. If you can't get there, of course, you can watch and wager on everything right here at Gulfstream Park.
Without a doubt. Happy to have you aboard today. Announcer Pete's up next.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.